Yo guys, it's Griff here back with another video, and today we are doing a ranking stadiums video. Obviously I really like football stadiums, so this is just a Premier League. If you want me to do Championship, League 1, League 2 and even the European leagues, I'll do it, no worries. So the first team and the first category is they need a new stadium. I think Bournemouth, honestly, the stadium there is poor. It needs improving. Honestly, I think it's so old and it's just so small. And they're a decent club, honestly, they are. But it's just they just need a new stadium. And I think this would improve it because they've only got a capacity of 11,000 people. And that's not much for a Premier League side. And I feel like they've got the worst stadium in the Premier League and it needs improving. Honestly, it does really need improving. Moving on to Brighton, I think I'm a bit harsh with this, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of Brighton Stadium. I feel like it doesn't create much atmosphere there. I think it's an okay stadium, it's just the atmosphere is really poor because of how the stadium's set out. I like the away end, but I don't really like the home end, if I'm going to be honest. And that's why I've put them quite low. But I understand if you do rate the stadium. It's a good looking stadium, but not for me, really. The next category is bad. I'm going to Turf Moor is such an old stadium, and I'm not really a big fan of it. I'm sorry, only fans. I'm just not a big fan of it. If you are a big fan of it, fair enough. It's an old-fashioned stadium, but it's just not my kind of stadium, if I'm going to be honest. Old and not good enough, if I'm going to be honest. The next stadium is Craven Cottage, Fulham. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of Fulham Stadium. Overpriced tickets, poor seating, I think, and just not really good atmosphere there. I feel like it's a poor stadium, honestly. I don't find it that interesting, if I'm going to be honest. Some people rate it really highly, but just not me, to be honest. Fulham Stadium, Craven Cottage, not my cup of tea, and I don't really rate it, if I'll be honest. The next team is West Ham's Stadium. I really don't like this one. I think it's really poor, and I feel like the stadium, it's just a poor stadium. It lacks the atmosphere that the West Ham fans are good at creating usually, and I feel like it's a bit of a bowl, and it's not really my stadium. The old stadium, honestly, I really loved that stadium, but this stadium, honestly, for me, it's not. It could have been in need a new stadium, but it's just because it's quite a new stadium that can't really obviously get a new stadium. But I'm sorry, don't rate it, West Ham fans. The next stadium is Molineux. Molineux is a decent stadium for Wolves. I think it needs a bit of improving on the sides, maybe extend it. It's an okay stadium. It does its job. I mean, Wolves decent fans, honestly, but I just think it's okay. Like, I'm not the greatest fan, but I'm not like the small, it's okay. It's hard to tell, really. It's an alright stadium. Next stadium is Luton. Luton have a Kenilworth Road at the minute. I love Kenilworth Road. It's a bit old-fashioned. I really do like the old-fashioned, though. I like the little stands. You have to go through the back garden. But I just don't feel like Luton Stadium is up to Premier League standards, but they are improving it, so maybe it'll make it look better, or it might make it look worse, but I would have put it up there with some of the best, because I really do like the Luton Stadium. Kenilworth Road's a really small stadium, but sorry, I can't really put it up there as a Premier League stadium. The next stadium is the Brentford Community Stadium. It's a decent stadium. It's quite nice, actually. They've made it nice. I just don't agree really with the seating there. Otherwise, it's a really solid stadium. It's okay. I think it's decent, but I don't know. I think maybe change the colour of the seats, and honestly, I'd be really happy with that stadium, honestly. I think it's a decent stadium, to be fair. The next stadium is Bramall Lane, Sheffield United Stadium. It's okay for me. It's a decent stadium. I really like the history, and I think it's a really good Championship stadium. But I don't really think it's a Premier League stadium, if you understand what I mean. Decent stadium, probably needs a bit of extending, but I really do rate it. I would make the away end the lower tier and the top tier, like they did for Wrexham in the FA Cup game, because that would really make it a really good atmosphere there. But I think it's a decent stadium. I rate it. I think it's okay. It needs a bit of improving, but it's decent. It's decent. The next stadium is Crystal Palace Stadium. It's a decent stadium, it creates a really good atmosphere, got good fans there, and I think it's a decent stadium. There's not much to fault about it. It's a bit old-fashioned, sometimes some restricted views, but honestly, I think it's a decent stadium. The next stadium is Goodison Park. Obviously, the home of Everton. They're moving soon, unfortunately, but I really do like this stadium. I think I've been there once myself, so I got the experience, but I feel like it is old-fashioned, but it is a good stadium, and I feel like Goodison Park can't go wrong, honestly. It's a great stadium, full of really good fans there, honestly. But some of the views you get is quite poor, and it's a bit old-fashioned, but I like it like that. I do like the Everton Stadium. The next stadium is Nottingham Forest Stadium. Honestly, that's a brilliant stadium. Honestly, I really like Nottingham Forest Stadium. It's really good, actually, to be fair. You get a good view from most places you're sitting, really good atmosphere. You can't really complain, can you? And in some areas, it's quite posh, and the away end's really nice. So I think it's a good stadium for me, to be fair. Next is Villa Park, home of Aston Villa. Aston Villa honestly create a great atmosphere there. I honestly really like the stadium. I think it's a decent stadium, and I think they're good. It's a good stadium, to be fair. So I rate that, to be honest, and I think it's a decent stadium. It does need a little bit of improving, but honestly, it's a really good stadium, and I like it there. And it's a tough place to visit, I guess. The next team is Stamford Bridge, the home of Chelsea, and honestly it's a really nice stadium, quite old-fashioned, but I really like how it has a bit of a modern side to it too. So it has both sides of the history of Chelsea, and I think it's a really good stadium. Honestly, I rate it really highly, and I think it's decent, to be fair. Sometimes it lacks a bit of atmosphere, but it's a good stadium. Next, a bit more of a posher stadium, it's the Etihad, Man City. This is a decent stadium. It's quite good, actually, because you get a really good view usually from wherever you're sitting. And I've been there quite a few times watching Man City, and it's a really good stadium, really posh, really nice and comfy seats. Sometimes it lacks a bit of atmosphere, but usually it's pretty decent, and I don't mind it there. I think it's a good stadium, honestly. The next is Emirates Arsenal. This I do like the Emirates. I think it's a decent stadium. I think they've got good fans there near the away end, and I think it's a decent stadium. I wouldn't complain if that was my home for my team, and it's a decent stadium, and it's getting posher. It's decent. It's not the greatest. I was between good and very good. I didn't think it was the best, but it is a really good stadium. The next is St James's Park, Newcastle's home ground. This is a great stadium. I love this stadium, honestly. It's really high up. You've great view of the pitch, honestly. Newcastle fans are brilliant, and honestly, it's a really good stadium, and I really want to go there in the future. I will make a vlog of going to the Newcastle Stadium. I don't know when, but it will be a really good vlog, I promise you. The next stadium is the iconic Anfield. Obviously, You'll Never Walk Alone when you come out, and oh my god, the fans there are brilliant. And Anfield it's getting extended at the minute, but it's really, really good stadium. I love Anfield, and I really rate the fans there, and I really rate the stadium. I really want to go. It's a bucket list stadium for many people. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's very, very good. Honestly, it's top tier. I love it there. The next stadium, if you can't see, is Tottenham Hotspur's new stadium. And that is a brilliant stadium. It's really posh, really good. Maybe it lacks a little bit of atmosphere, but honestly, it looks so good. The seats are comfy. You've got your bar holders. You've got so many different places to eat. Honestly, it's amazing. Iconic stadium. Really nice place. It's going to be up there with some of the best stadiums you'll ever go to. Last but not least, the best stadium in the Premier League is Manchester United's Old Trafford. This is a fortress. Honestly, I love this stadium. It's such a historical stadium where so many things has happened to Man United. And I think, honestly, it's such a good stadium. Old Trafford, it just has so many memories, and that's why it's one of the best stadiums in the world. And honestly, Old Trafford is so good. If you want me to visit any of these stadiums, let me know in the comments. Thanks for listening. It's been Griff, and I'm out.